The rules are simple. Select a random champion, choose masteries, runes and spells that match and start up a game against 5 random AI controlled bots. Then the fun begins. Start a lane and farm as usual, trying to win the game against the 5 opponents before they beat you. The results are then posted in a league. 3 points for a win by destructing every enemy structure, 2 points for a win in any other way, and 0 points for a loss. The winner is then decided from a pool of 3-point champs with the lowest winning time crowned the winner. This is the 1v5 challenge. Welcome to today's 1 vs 5 challenge. Your champion today is Anivia. The skin is prehistoric Anivia. The champs we're going against are Shen, Kog'Maw, Zyra, Jarvan 4, Nidalee. And in the middle, I believe we're going to face Zyra. With that exhaust, interesting ability, will slow us down. We're not very mobile as a champion. We'll see how we go though with the teleport ability. We're going to start early on with the farming process. Try and get as many of these minions as we can early in the game. Anivia, as mentioned, is not the most mobile of champions, so we'll see how this goes. Going to poke long range with that Q ability early on. So in this 1 vs 5 challenge, the rules mean we get 3 points for a victory by destroying all the structures, 2 points for a victory in any other way. That could be through minions, pushing through with super minions, or just by having to push through with a weak champion, and no points of course if we lose. We're going to have to be aware of course with Kog'Maw in the outer lanes that they could destroy the towers fairly quickly, and the key to this node is trying to keep up with the rate of tower destruction. So if they destroy one of the lanes outside, we have to try and make sure we have destroyed ours. Poking down Zyra, but it's not going to be enough for the first blood, but she will return to that base. We missed the large minion there unfortunately with those slightly weaker than usual also attacks from Anivia. She does eat up mana fairly heavily and it is quite difficult to farm, so it may be a quite difficult early game. Once we get slightly later in the match though, hopefully it won't matter too much using our R to farm those minions, as we'll have more mana to regain. Unfortunately you can see we are draining a lot of the mana right now. We're over the 5-minute mark in the game as it stands. If it is under 5 minutes, the turrets now take only half the damage. But as we're over that threshold, we'll have to really start pushing it on, as Anivia is still forcing Zyra back to base, but not yet managing to secure that first blood. Let's see if we can manage it now. As we hit the Q, I'm going to use the wall, slow her down. And unfortunately the E is just too slow doing the damage, so it only does its standard damage rather than the double damage that it does achieve if the enemy has been stunned or slowed by the Q or ultimate ability. I'm going to start building towards the rod. We've had to go back to the base quite early on, so getting that rod would be nice right now. Unfortunately not enough gold as it stands. We can use the teleport though to get straight back into the action with Zyra fairly low. Can we stun her? She's going to run in the direction. We have our ult though. We can slow and use the E on her, doing a bit of damage, keeping her away for now. Still we're going to farm the minions, 25 down. But getting into 7 minutes, you would think that the ADC and the ranged Nidalee in top lane might be starting to get the tower down. We're going to hit the E, there's the ult. Will the damage over time from the passive getter? Not quite. No, first blood still. About 7.5 minutes in. And we get the minion down, as soon as we can. Anivia's an interesting champ. It's not a champ I would generally choose to play. She's quite clunky, slow manoeuvrability, and her auto attacks they're just frustrating. She's got a nice skill set though, and the wall it comes in handy. You can use it. Also a good use for the wall if you play preferably a co-op versus AI game, which I know isn't the most popular game mode, but it's good to troll in. You can use the wall to interrupt allies recalling and pushing them into tower range, or keeping them in tower range, so you can cause a bit of trouble that way. Not that I would ever consider doing that, of course. So yeah, she's quite a useful champ. The wall definitely, but it seems to be countered by the sort of the mana use and the slow movement. The non. There's no, apart from if you get that wall perfect all the stuff. She's just hard to get around the battlefield. But she still can do a lot of damage with that. If you couple it with Leandre's Torment, especially, a lot of damage over time. And if you can stun them in that R as well, does a lot to get them out of the way. But you can see Shen has defended Zyra, and so now we've got him to contend with. But after engaging in one team fight, or one fight against the Zyra and the Shen, we've got just no mana. After being in lane for a minute, it's just gone. Absolutely gone. You can argue that, yeah, mana management, but I mean, when you're being attacked like that, what can you do? You've got to use the mana. You can't save it up. You need it to be able to escape or do anything. The auto attacks are just so obsolete, if you like. Everything with champs like Anivia, it's just all ability based. So it can be quite frustrating playing up in the early game, especially. Like I say, once we get to a late game and get the Morella Nomicon and the Barod, then it's a different story. Hopefully that's when we can start clawing our way back and getting some kills. Hopefully. For now though, let's contend with Zyra. Returning to the lane, 10.5 minutes in. Can we finally get this first blood? We're running out of mana, but we've got a little bit. We use that E, doing a lot of damage. Where's the ult? There it is. There is the wall. There is the E, surely. First blood, 400 gold. Almost 11 minutes in, and first blood is there. Uncontested. Easy kill. But not so easy in the bottom lane with the first turret destroyed. 11 minutes in, we need to really get this tower down to match them. But with those slow attacks, we might not be able to do it in time. The minion wave are coming back to defend, and we're out of minions. We cannot get the tower down to match those outer lanes. If they get that second tower in, they will all rush down there to support and push through. So we partly need to defend that bottom lane, but at the same time, if we don't push through this middle, our chances of a victory are significantly smaller. Zyra's back, and she's brought a friend along to the party, which doesn't seem entirely fair. I couldn't invite anyone. Use the wall to defend ourselves, and the ult do a little bit of damage. Not sure we're going to be able to stay in lane now. And Zyra's going to pin us down and cause a few issues, but we can get away from it easy enough. Can't leave the lane though. The minions are pushing on to the tower. We can use a little bit of our ult with the last remainders of our mana. Still, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And the auto attacks towards Shen, who's also joined the party. We're going to have to recall back to the base and utilise our teleport. But looking at top lane and bottom lane, we may have to go there instead. And coming back slowly. Gives us a chance here to defend our turret before the third and final outer turret goes. And using the ult to clear the minions, perhaps a unnecessary use of the ult and of the mana that the ult needs. However, we have to clear these waves as quickly as we can. There's the ult from Zyra. She's poking us down here. We can do the same to her though. Looks like she's going to take the wise decision and go back to the base. Shen's not though, he's going to taunt us, try and get the kill, going to slow him down with the ult. Running out of mana though, using the E, then the Q to stun, and surely this is another kill. There it is, 2-0. About 13.5 minutes in. Not great. We could do with a few more kills, a bit more gold, and a bit more mana regen, as well as ability power. We could do with a bit more of everything, to be quite honest right now. If you look at the top and bottom lane, they are really starting to push on. Can we get this tower down? Surely now we've got enough of a respite by killing Shen. He just respawns from the base now. Surely that's enough for us to get the tower down, and there it goes. Tower destroyed. Looks though like our lower turret could be following suit. Zyra is back in lane. We're out of mana. Can we do anything about it? Shen's coming as well. Surely it's a bit overkill. Sending them both. But nevertheless, there they are. We're going to use the Q to stop Shen chasing us down. And out of mana again. There's really very little. But if Zyra's going to chase us back to the base, we're going to try and do something. We're going to ult, we're going to E, that's surely the kill. And there it is, 300 gold. Shen, can he do anything? We've got the 3 kills. Starting our killing spree. Is this going to be the start of a huge snowball, quite literally, of Zyra building up her strength? Minions are still pushing on our middle tower, and the top tower and the bottom tower look like they could be falling at any moment. What can we do here though? Stun on Shen, there's the E. Slightly too late again. Our tower is down. Kog'Maw and Nidalee proving an easy tower destruction machine in that top lane. We will have to go there sooner or later, as the AI will start to flock there as they see a chance to push through for the victory. It's going to be a close game this. It's proving to be quite a tricky one though. What can we buy to help? Starting, still not got that Morellonomicon. Almost 17 minutes into the game now. 16 minutes even. And still only that one item, the rod. Trying to get some mana regain to help us build into this game. We really need to approach that late game to do anything of any significance. We can start pushing back these minions though. Let's see how far we can get. At least before we're disturbed in this top lane. Use the Q just to try and get some of that damage down on those minions. There's the ult. Oh! And coming from the side, we've got Shen there. And, oh, Jarvan as well, 2 tanks. Got to be quite careful here. What can we do? There's the taunt now. We've got us straight down. Jarvan's got that. We can use the wall to separate him from us. He's going to go straight over it with his E though. There's the E straight onto Shen. And almost a kill, but he's going to use his ult. Can we stun either of them? There's the ult on Shen. There's the E on Shen. There's the kill on Shen. Using the ignite there to secure that, as we can't chase him because Bird. And Bird, of course, are really slow and not great at chasing things. Zyra though is back into the top lane now to try and cause us a few problems. Can we ult? There's the ult, there's the E, there's the kill. Unstoppable. And, oh, coming from behind though, we've got the 2 amigos. Nidalee and Kog'Maw are going to go into this bush, try and draw them in. There's the kill on Nidalee, there's dominating. Can we get Kog'Maw? And easily with the arc, there's very little attention. And the wall helps separate us from that true damage. We're going to go back into the ally minions, try and push on a bit further. Can we get the tower down before Jarvan swirls the party after recently respawning, which means Shen might be on his way as well. There is a bit of damage exchanged. He's just going to stand there and watch, and here indeed is Shen. What can we do? Very little mana. And still, what look where we missed the Q. We're going to go straight for Jarvan. There's the ult. Can we do anything at all here? Or are we going to go into egg form for the first time? We can still run away. The Sunfire Cape causing us damage though. And there it is. There's the wall. There's the egg. We're going to respawn in time. There's the ult to scare them away. There's the E onto Zyra. Is that going to be enough? Is she going to die? Minions doing damage. Is that one minion hit enough? No, it's not. She's going to escape this time. And we're going to recall back to the base. Nidalee coming back to the lane though to tempt us away from that recall. Despite having no mana. Eventually we're going to give up that fight before it even begins. Go back to the base. Still causing problems though at the top lane. We're having to fight the good fight and keep them away as long as we can from our tower. Is it going to be a futile effort though? How long can we keep them at bay before they push through? 5 against 1. Even though they are bots, they are tankier, they are stronger. It's only going to be a matter of time before they start to group together. The trick is going to be trying to kill 1 or 2 of them out of sync so they don't all attack as one. Here they are, there's 3 of them. We're going to use the ult, we're going to trap Jarvan on this side and then E. There's the legendary, there's the kill on Jarvan. Here comes Zyra and Nidalee, 2 squishy champs. There's the Q, we can freeze Zyra in place. Nidalee's going to follow us, go straight back through our ult. Going to cause a lot of damage and get the kill on Nidalee. Zyra has run away, thought better of the attack. And we have a chance to push through on the first tower. As through the middle, Kog'Maw has thought that this could be a chance to push the other lanes, which it could well be. Can we get this tower down? They're seemingly going to bot lane, which also has no inner turret. Can we push to force them into defending a different lane and staying away from our towers? We're losing the tower game quite significantly here. Over 20 minutes gone. It's going to be a difficult match, but it looks as we get into the later game we're starting to get a bit more strength. Jarvan's going to try and attack us on his own. That might not be a wise decision from him. We're going to all do a lot of damage. There's the E, there's the kill, and 12-0 now. As we recall back to the base, we're going to have to defend our bottom lane tower. Then there is the Leandri's Torment. This could be the start of something spectacular in terms of damage on the enemy. There's 3 of them down there, 4 of them now. There is the ult clearing those minions. There is the ult clearing that Zyra. Can we do anything more? In this next wave, going to slow Nidalee down. Can the Q stun her? Yes, it can. There's the kill. Shen just gets to the other side though with the Kog'Maw. We can stun him though, and there's the double. True damage not doing too much to us, not causing many problems right now. Can we get the Shen? There's the stun, there's the ult, there's the E, and the chase. Not worth going on against such a tanky champion at the moment. With the lack of speed, we could be buying boots to help us with the speed, but at present we're doing a lot of defensive play, and with the passive mobility bonus from the base, it's not really worth it as of yet. Can we push this lane as far as we can? How far is as far as we can? These waves and build towards that tower. We're going to use the E and then the Q to stun Shen. The tower's going to focus us though because of it. We can't afford to take too many tower hits at the moment. We can afford, however, to hit the tower, and that's what we're going to do. And surely it's going to fall down before top lane continue their push. There it goes. It's already destroyed. And then goes for the next wave of minions. Switching our attention to top lane now, trying to push back those attacks on our towers and simultaneously push forward our attacks on the enemy. Our minions have destroyed the middle tower. Can we get much further though? Is that going to be the problem in this game? Can we actually manage to get around the map quick enough to get those 3 points? It's going to be a tricky task, as maneuverability is not great still. We will need to get boots at some point, but we are burning through the towers fairly quickly with that extra ability power contributing to the basic attacks. And we get Cogmao, surely it should be quite easy burning through him with our abilities there. And the wall is just slightly too late. Using the mana is helping us to heal, but it's also using mana. We are going to be quite low as we get to this tower. Are we going to be able to get it down, or are they all going to pile towards it to try and defend? At the moment though, they're in the bottom lane and they are fairly distracted with trying to win the game themselves. We're going to block Shen off, but despite the tower's focus, we are going to destroy it and get it down and do some damage to Shen. We're out of mana. There's nothing we can do though, despite him being low. What we do need to do though is get back to the base and defend it before our inner turrets start to fall. We've lost the top one already. Don't really want to lose the second one as well. Definitely hold down on those minions. Stun Jarvan in his place. Shen's going to come down and join the party. Jarvan surely is done. There he is, there's the legendary, there's the double kill. And both of them out of the game. Shen has disappeared into the middle lane to save himself before saving the others. Cogmao is not going to be too clever here. He's going to try and attack us to block off his exit with a wall and get that kill. And the legendary 23rd kill of the game. 30 minutes in now. Starting to enter the late game, and as expected, starting to do quite a lot of damage. We have a choice now. We can go for those 2 points for a victory by teleporting to that top lane to get the inhibitors down possibly, or we can do the exact same and teleport to the top lane, get the inhib, and then go for the 3 points by destroying the turret. We've got the boots finally now. The penetration will help us out, as well as finishing off the death cap. And the choice of what to build last, we're going to delay and make when we have enough gold for a full item. It's going to be interesting what we choose at this stage during the game. And indeed, as the top inhibitor has fallen, we're going to go and push through for those 3 points by destroying the structures. The first one to fall is that bottom lane without very much resistance at all. Starting to really become powerful as we build up those minion kills into the 240 range now. Still yet to die in this match with the consumable item and the attack speed items doing more damage on those towers and on those champions, and it proves too much for Shen and Jarvan, and Zyra's going to try and defend them. Resistance is futile. There's the triple. Can we get down that inhibitor? Should be a fairly straightforward thing to be doing. And there it goes, there's the Q onto Nidalee, and it's as simple as a Q and an E now to get the kills. We're going to focus on bottom lane while the minions destroy the middle inhib. It's going to be a fairly simple by the numbers destruction of the inhibitors. It's going to be the 3 points surely now secured, unless the AI have got something rather spectacular up their sleeves, which I highly doubt at this stage during the game, with 4 of them dead and the first tower going down the wall. Gets Cogmao out of the way. Doesn't need to do much else than that, because the Q and the E together and quite simply get that kill. We're going to get some true damage on us though, and they're going to jump. Jarvan is going to try and get us. Shen as well, we're going to stun Shen. And we're in egg form. It just shows that no matter how strong and how late in the game that the tanks and the bots are able to group together and fight us, but once they split off, there really is no competition. The ult from Zyra is doing very little now. We can cause her a lot more problems with our ult clearing minions as well, and there is the kill, there's the legendary. And now it's just the Shen and the Nidalee, and oh, just the Shen. Oh, and neither. There's the triple kill. There's the stun on Kog'Maw, and surely there's the Quadra. There's the kill. Anivia secures the victory. Anivia, 3 points.